For more on what's happening this Thursday on the ground in the Gaza Strip, let's turn to our correspondent on the ground. That is Catherine Norris Trent reporting there from Jerusalem. Tell us what more is happening this Thursday in Gaza.
Hello, Shona. Very intensive fighting and combat operations are taking place in Khan Younis in the south of the Gaza Strip, but in other areas of Gaza too. The Israeli military said that it is consolidating its control of Khan Younis. So it had already announced that it had surrounded that city, which had been the biggest city, the biggest population area in the south of the Gaza Strip. But now they're saying that commandos specialized in urban warfare are carrying out targeted attacks, snipers, and using targeted missile strikes. They're really emphasizing that point. Of course, Israel has been criticized before for the many civilians who have lost their lives in Gaza, more than 25,000 according to Hamas. And the Hamas-run Gazan Health Ministry has said that 50 more people have been killed there, at least in the past 24 hours. We've also got these reports that Israel says it's looking into from the UN's agency to deal with Palestinian aid. They've reported there are a dozen people killed and more than 75 injured in what appears to be tank shelling on a shelter there, which had more than 800 people inside. So that is something, of course, there's huge concern for the humanitarian conditions and for the people still trapped there, as well as people further south, civilians who've been urged to go further south towards Rafah, right on the Egyptian border, where conditions are very crowded and very difficult indeed, and becoming ever more so.
Catherine, let's turn now and take a look at the diplomatic side of things. It seems that Israel and Qatar are in the midst of a disagreement that has gone public. What effects might this have on the negotiations?
Well, Qatar's foreign ministry spokesman has come out and in quite an unusually heated public statement has accused the Israeli prime minister of undermining and potentially harming the negotiation process, accusing Benjamin Netanyahu of seemingly putting his own political ambitions ahead of trying to rescue the hostages, many of whom are Israeli citizens, of course. Now, this all started because of what appears to be a leaked recording of the Israeli Prime Minister speaking when he was meeting some of the hostages' families. And in those remarks, he appears to have criticized Qatar's role, accusing Qatar of not doing its best to get the hostage released, and of saying that it would like to encourage the US, that Israel would like to encourage the US not to continue to keep its airbase in Qatar. Qatar reacted angrily to that, as I've said. But then you've had Israel's finance minister, Bezalel Smotrich, who's a hardliner, right-winger in the cabinet. He's come out and doubled down on the criticism of Qatar, going even further than those leaked reports allegedly made by Netanyahu. Smotrich saying that Qatar is largely responsible for the October the 7th attacks and accusing it of financing and supporting terrorism. So all this raises huge questions about what effect that would have on the hostage negotiations and the negotiations for a ceasefire. Qatar has been one of the major negotiators along with Egypt. The US has also been trying to get those efforts moving. We don't know now what effect it would have, but one could imagine that it would slow the process down, and this very public spat could have an impact on the diplomacy there, which is already very delicate.
Thank you so much. Catherine Norris Trent, senior France 24 reporter there.